Volière, Saint-Saëns' amazing solo from the Carnival of the Animals. I think possibly for principal flutists, or flautists, depending where you're from, it's going to be one of our most hated things. What is this thing about the flute and birds, you know? It's just is a fact of flute playing life, isn't it? That's first organise it in a very dispassionate, very clear way, and just get yourself going with slow tempos. That brings us on to the tricky subject of articulation. And it poses the question for me, what is good articulation? And I always think the simple answer is something that sounds good. Because, you know, we're dealing as musicians, what do you do with musicians? You listen to musicians. And I think people often get to do with energy, because it, of course, it needs to be energetic, but it must be musically energetic and not just sounds like a whirlwind. With the fact of the one question I'm often asked is about the business about whether one should finger this out or not. I mean, it's a bit of a personal choice, but what I always think is the most vital thing is that when people use alternative fingerings, that I can't hear the difference. The final run of this is a wonderful thing of just disappearing up in smoke again, that French thing of ascending music with diminuendo. I think this is quite tricky to absolutely keep the pulse. So I would put on a manically fast metronome beat on every quaver or eighth note. I think that it's so easy for a flute player to actually feel slightly oppressed by this piece, and to hear that just was so wonderful and so alive, and it made me smile, that it made me feel so much better about the whole thing.